Welcome to Marshall Media Review. I'm Stephen Reich, and today we will be discussing Showdown in Little Tokyo. Showdown in Little Tokyo is a movie that came out in 1991, was directed by Mark L. Lester, and stars Dolph Lundgren and Brandon Lee. Chris Kenner is an American LA cop who was raised in Japan. Johnny Murata is a Japanese-American LA cop raised here in the US. Both work the Little Tokyo district and, despite their different backgrounds, share an interest in martial arts. They become reluctant partners in an attempt to stop a major crime wave involving drugs, which seems to be linked to the powerful Yakuza, or Japanese mafia. As the investigation progresses, things get more and more personal, which tests these two to their limits. So from the title, you might think this movie is a sequel to the much better and more creative Big Trouble in Little China. But you would be wrong. If it weren't for Brandon Lee, I probably wouldn't be reviewing this movie at all. In fact, this is just an out-and-out buddy cop movie with some martial arts thrown in. I don't want to spoil the movie for those who haven't seen it, but if you've seen Lethal Weapon 1, you pretty much know what this movie is about. I mean, the plots are pretty much the same for both movies, except that Lethal Weapon is way better than Showdown in Little Tokyo. But like I said, Brandon Lee is the best part of this movie. It was his first US release and why I ever learned about this movie in the first place. His character is very likable and his martial arts are on point. I would have liked more scenes with him, but at this point in time, Dolph Lundgren was the bigger name, and so Brandon Lee's character was used more as a support character. Who, by the way, doesn't know anything about Japanese culture. They definitely want you to know this, as they make countless references to this throughout the movie. Dolph Lundgren was okay in this. His performance was kind of wooden, but he looks good doing action scenes and therefore was well cast. This movie has a very classic late 80s, early 90s buddy cop movie look and style to it, and therefore includes the classic training montage designed to convince the audience that two men can win against 100 armed with automatic weapons. Other noteworthy performances were Tia Carrera as lounge singer Minako Okeya and Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa as the villain Funikai Yoshida. Both add much needed talent to the cast. This movie also has some very underutilized talent. When you consider that this film has two of the best martial artists, James Liu and Simon Rhee, in the cast, you would think they would use them in more fight scenes, right? Nope. I mean, that's like casting the team from The Raid in a Star Wars movie and not having them do a single fight scene. I mean, who would do that? Showdown in Little Tokyo is worth seeing if you are a fan of Brandon Lee and you want to check him out in his US movie debut. Otherwise, I liked this movie better the first time I saw it when it was called Lethal Weapon. I give it 2.5 out of 5 stars. So have you seen Showdown in Little Tokyo? If you have, what did you think of it? Be sure to let me know in the comments. And as always, if you know of a movie, book, TV show, documentary, what have you, that you'd like me to discuss on the show, be sure to let me know that in the comments as well. You can find me at Likewater Productions on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.